because
Giving a speech? This is not graduation.
Yo, some of y'all don't think we belong here. But it ain't about where you come from.
We are not the valedictorian.
Alright. Let me just say something. The streets is supposed to be about different people coming together. We call this a battle, but what are we fighting for? We're all here because we do this thing that we love to do. We dance. Right? Being a part of streets used to mean more than just turf or power. It's about bringing something different to the floor. And it doesn't matter what we wear or school or neighborhood we're from, because the best part about the streets, it ain't about what you got. It's what you make of what you got. So, if the 4-on-0 is too scared to defend their title against us, then hell, we'll be outside doing our thing where the streets start. Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning to my channel today. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Tia Joy. Welcome. And to all of my subscribers, it is so good to see y'all. Thank you so much for joining me with another dance movie review. We are going to continue this Step Up month with Step Up 2. Now, before I get into this dance movie review, I need all of you who are just now tuned to my channel and you want to see more of my dance movie reviews, plus some in the future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also that bell so you can be in the know when I load a new video. Step Up 2 is actually one of my favorite dance movies. I have a lot of them, but I just love this next one because this movie came out in 2008 and it was directed by John M. Chu, and this movie just went to a whole nother level. So you have the first one. If you haven't seen my dance movie review on that one, go ahead and watch that. But this movie pretty much was another step up. Now, I am very skeptical when it comes to another movie that's in a continuation of the first movie, especially has the same title and they don't in the characters, and it's like but they did change up the characters, but it's okay because this movie was dope. So this movie did not disappoint at all. This movie is about a girl named Andy who is played by Brianna, and she being with the dance crew called the 410, who is led by Tuck, who is played by Black Thomas. But they get in trouble. Her guardian, Sarah, who's played by Sandra Son, she sees her with him, and they keep causing disturbing the peace and being on the news and doing things they shouldn't be doing. And her guardian's like tired of it because her mom passed away, and so Sarah, who is looking after her, is her mom's best friend. And so she's just tired of her getting in trouble and was thinking about wanted her to go to Texas with her aunt because she just wasn't being obedient, doing what she needs to do. She ended up going to the school called MSA, and MSA just creates stars. I don't care. Like, it just causes you, once you go into that school, I wish I would have went to school, but it's okay. But once you go there, it just really causes you to step up your game. Like, serious. Tyler had to do it because he's like, oh, these people got meaning to their life, and now he's doing what he's doing. And then you have Andy, now she's going, and it's like, it's a life-changing school. And then meeting a guy named Moose, who's played by Adam Savani, and he pretty much helps her, and he's pretty much the first friend that she ends up encountering and meeting. And then again, he was a little annoying too because she tried running away from him, which is kind of funny. She ended up running to this guy named Chase, who's played by Robert Hoffman, who she actually met previously at the club, and ended up doing an audition, get into the school, and he liked her instantly because he's like, oh, this girl is different. And on top of that, he identified with her instantly because he knew that she was a hip-hop dancer, and that's exactly what he was, even though he goes to school and he has to do modern, aka ballet class. So she ends up getting kicked out of the crew because of her trying to be focusing on her schooling, and Chase helps her form her new crew, which was a bunch of underdogs, but they are straight up gifted, and they were too good for their own classes, but they end up all coming together and forming a crew. So we have some other characters in this movie. We have Felicia, who's played by Talisha Shaw, who was her friend but ended up being a hater, and she was part of the 410 crew. We have Missy, played by Daniela Polanco, and she was also part of the 410 crew. We also have Hair, played by Christopher Scott, Cable, Harry Shum, Keto, who I absolutely love. This girl is so dope. Her locket, this girl, her waves, she is just so dope. Played by Marie Coda. We have Fly, played by Janelle Cambridge. We have Monster, played by Luis Rosado. We have Blake Collins, who is the director of the Performing Arts School, who's played by Will Kemp. We have Sophie, who's played by Cassie Ventura. So it's really cool to see her in this movie as well. And she was like the ex-girlfriend of Chase. So, but she was really amazing. She did an amazing job too in this movie as well. I love DJ Sand, who was played by Boogie. This dude was hilarious. Just to hear him talk. He has all the jokes. So seeing him on the DJ stand, he was so funny. He be doing like, I need y'all to go home, take some notes, because this forward, he is just, his comments on that DJ stand was hilarious.
We also have a special appearance by the Jabberwockies, who is my all-time favorite dance crew since America's Best Dance Crew. We also have the West Coast crew, who is led by Flo Rida, and we also have the Goth crew as well.
So I'm about to get into some of my favorite scenes that I loved about the movie. So my first favorite scene is Andy when she goes to the club. She goes there, she meets a special guest who was Tyler Gage, who's played by Channing Tatum. And he makes a special appearance in this movie, which I really liked because it pretty much tied up from this first one to the second one, and the fact that he came in to help her and he understood what she was going through because he used to be the same way. So when they go to the club, so when she meets him and they have their little conversation, I love the battle that they have because he's like, well, if I win, then you have to go to MSA. If you lose, then as if I didn't exist. So he and her go back head to head at the club, and I like the fact that the floor had trampolines, so it brought something new and different to the scene, because to see them freestyle and then start jumping around the trampoline was so much fun. They were doing like flips, they were doing different jumps, and I liked how they used the song Church by T-Pain. I love that song. That song is so fun, and the musicality with it was just off the chain. So to see them go head to head, it was just a fun scene. It was good to see that Tyler still had it in him, and it's also good to see I want to say Brianna, but it's Andy. It's good to see Andy and her do her freestyle and just see what she's all made of. You got Tyler, who just jumps and swings and jumps and do flips, and he goes off and he does the hop and then spring jump, and then he goes into the stage, does another jump and do some more waves, some more tut stuff, and then drops down to a head hit. And then this final one, what he does is he just starts freestyling and takes his shirt off from jumping onto where the pole is and dropping down, and he just sealed the deal. So to see him just have a good time and just really just let go and show what he's all made of is great. So I love this scene. My second favorite scene is really hard to get into because I liked the scene where they go to Missy's mom's barbecue, and also the scene with the 410 on their last dance at the streets. Those two were a tie for me because I really love both of them. I love the scene with them going to the barbecue with Missy's family because I like the salsa dance that they were doing together, and the whole crew was just fam, and they were just eating, enjoying each other's company. And you see Andy and her dancing with Chase, and they do a little routine together, and it's good that fact that they dipped into another dance style besides just keeping it modern, contemporary, and hip-hop. So the fact that they brought salsa to it as well, it was good to see the diversity of that. Plus, I also like the 410 crew because I love the routine that they did, how they started off with being in the tower, and Kay and Mel jumped off, and then they did their routine together, and then they transferred their routine into the crowd, and they went to another area in the look like a warehouse or club and start doing more of their routine, and to see the b-boys go at it and they do their routine together and do a flip and spreads out. And I also like the little shape that they did with them. They went from like, they did like a little circle and they went into like a triangle. I really love that transition. And to see them, let me see you slide, that drop, like it was just so cool to see them do that. And then plus the guy K-Mel doing a flip, so dope too. So just to see their whole routine, they're very aggressive type people, so they're really like hardcore because they have a really good choreography. They do, like, it's so aggressive, it's so on point, it's so sharp, it's so clean. But I would love to see that battle between them and the MSA crew. That would have been cool to see, but it's okay. I mean, maybe in another day, but it was cool and I just really love that scene. So it's a tie between those two scenes because I really love those scenes. Okay, so if you've seen You Got Served, if you have not seen my You Got Served movie review, please go above and please go and watch that. But there's a scene where Elgin and Dee, and they do their freestyle in the rain. Okay, so guess who the choreographers were in there? Dave Scott and Shay Sparks. When I saw Step Up 2 and they're dancing in the rain, guess who was over by DJ Sand? Dave Scott. So when I saw You Got Served, that must have been Dave Scott's idea. So when I see him again, and he's also one of the choreographers for this movie, I know that was you, Dave. I know that was you that brought back that idea of dancing in the rain, but instead of being freestyle, what they did was a whole routine. Yo, this scene was so dope. First, they start off with lights. I call them like Night of the Eyes because they have lights on their hands, they're dancing around, and then Robert does this sick spin where it's like, bruh, and then he picks up Missy, and they all fall out, and then they transition, and then you got Moose, and then you got the song Bounce. Okay, hold on. When that bass dropped and that boom, and you see Moose directs it, to see Moose, I'm so glad he was in this scene because Moose, bruh, he killed it. And then when you see the and then boom, he goes pat, and he hit it in it, pat, pat. Man, yo, and then he does a little Michael. Yo, it's because he's so excited because this scene was it was litty, like, bruh, oh my gosh, if only. Yo, I would love to be in this movie just to do this last dance, because this dance, it was man. And then you have the oh my gosh, like, sorry, I'm getting so excited because I just love everything about this. And then for them to dance to rock music, I remember choreographing a dance to like an R&B rock song. That's hard, no lie. Because when you're used to doing always either one style, like hip hop and contemporary, but rock, that's a totally different thing. So to see them, the choreography, and you see the b-boys and they're doing their thing, and then everyone, I like the fact that everyone was doing these b-boy moves, especially when they were down on the floor and they're on their backs and they were doing the leg swings and they're coming up and doing the rolls. Like dancing in the rain, I'm pretty sure it was super hard because when you're wet, your clothes is heavy, so I can understand their choice of clothing was very smart, so that way they won't be feel like they're dragging 18 pounds while dancing. But yo, to see them all come together and do that like b-boy move routine, so sick. And then they transition from that to, and then the boys, when they do their moves and they start doing the wave, let me see you, like, bruh, like, start doing their moves, and you got Robert do his famous Michael Jackson lean, like, let's go. The girls, and they start to do their moves, and Keto killed it. Like, let's go, Keto. To see them come out and they do their thing, like, come on. Like, I was like, look at this girl. She was like, they ain't got no money in the bank. She like tore that up, and then they start dancing to I ain't trying to say that, girl. No, sir, no, I ain't trying to say that, girl. Yo, and they go to boom, 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 and then you got Brianna. She go boom, 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 the hit, and then turn, and then the bite. Like, let's go, yo. duh. And then they all come in at the end and they start doing the movements together, yo, like, oh my gosh, bro. And then you see Keto, she go boo doo 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 boo boo ta. And then we have Chase and Andy, and they're doing their moves together. Man, yo, I can't. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta calm down, y'all. Cause they do their little duet together, and then he does that breather. He does that bass, that pounding on her like she is the drum, and then that breathe, breathe, breathe. And then they do the movements together at the end. Man, yo, this scene was just epic. Then she just roll down and then the hits with the water just splash. Man, I love this scene, y'all. As you can see, I'm so hyped. I watched this scene so many times, yo. So many times, bruh. Okay. But that's my favorite scene, as you can tell, because I loved it. But oh my gosh. Okay, the lesson that I learned in this movie is Andy got elevated. And she got elevated to a new position in her life. And when you get elevated, you could tell who is for you. And that's one thing that I noticed in my life. When God elevates you to another level, people will show you who they really are. And I realized that in my life. Like, when Andy went to a new school, her family that she thought was her family was not her family. Because if they really loved her like a family member, they would have supported her. They would have been there for her. They wouldn't be like hating like they were. Like, Tuck and Felicia was hating on the girl. It's like, good gosh. But that's because they probably knew there's something in her that was greater than what they could teach her or what she can do. And sometimes when people recognize the greatness in you, they on purposely want to keep you condemned in where you are, because they know when that moment when you find out who you really are, you burst out, they know that you're going to surpass them. And with Andy, that's exactly what she did. She went from being a member of a 410 crew to being a leader. And not only that, with Chase, he was trying to prove himself to his brother Blake. And so when he dances, Blake is always trying to put him in this little box where it's like, no, you can't do all that hip hop stuff. This is what you should do. You should do here and stagger and all this other stuff. And he wasn't able to be fully himself because he had to be controlled about what the atmosphere is giving him. And so I love the fact that you have a bunch of people, even with Hair and Munster and Fly and Smiles and Keto and Cable, how they were all talented, but even their classes couldn't contain them because they were greater than what they were being taught. And the fact that all of them came together, they were underdogs, where it's like, oh, you guys ain't nothing. But once they all came together and maximized their own potential with each other, they were people that couldn't be reckoned with. And Andy, the one thing I loved about her is when she was with the 410 crew, it was all about competition. It was all about winning. But when she found out who she really was and found out that she not only went with the group where they were doing things that they weren't supposed to, but she went with the group who was a positive influence where they weren't doing stuff like the 410 crew was doing. And when she realized who she really was and they started to bring out things about her that she didn't even know she could do, she had to get to a point where it's like, okay, especially with the speech at the streets, she was like, it's not about competition. It's about us coming together and being united. And it doesn't matter where you're from. It's about bringing what you got. It's about bringing something new to the floor that somebody else don't know. But if she would have stayed with the 410 crew, she never would have discovered that. If she never went to the school, she never would have found out the friends that she would have had who were great influence in her life, to a point that Sarah, who was her guardian, started to notice that she was different. She noticed that, okay, there's something different about you. Because at first she was like, nah, you ain't going out. But when she saw her being in a new atmosphere with new surroundings, she got comfortable where it's like, okay, you can go with them because I see a change in you and it's for the better. And it's not for the worse. And I just love how when God does that to you and elevates you to another level, that new people who not only can has the same potential as you have, but it will cause you to maximize what you didn't know was inside of you to come out of you. And she went from, like I said, member to leadership. She was a leader all along. She didn't need the 411 crew. She had leadership inside of her, but it takes sometimes a new position to be in to see what's inside of you. And I love the fact when it came to this movie, that's what I've learned, and I absolutely love it. Like, that is so like amazing, and God does that. I know for me, He has done that. When He takes me to another level, He actually lets me see who is for me and who is not for me. And you would know that. Just maximize yourself. Just keep going to another level. So if you out there, you're discouraged and you're like, man, nobody sees me, I'm an underdog, you keep going to another level and keep watching and see who comes into your life. I'm realizing that myself, and I am hecka excited for what God has for me. And sometimes also on top of that, people probably are intimidated. People see greatness, they can't celebrate with you, but what they do is they keep you confined because they know once you find out who you are, they know you're going to take off. And sometimes that scares people, but in order to keep them elevated to where they are, they put you down. They keep you where you are. They don't be there for you. They don't support you. They ignore you. And I know how that feels. I do. And it makes it seem like something's wrong with me. But it's not something wrong with me. It's something great inside of me. And sometimes it takes a new place and a new atmosphere to find that out. That you are more greater than what you are surrounded by. And everybody ain't going to be there with you, and everybody ain't going to celebrate with you. But it's okay. You just keep fighting. And that's exactly what I'm doing, and that's what Andy did, and look where they are. And I love the significance of the rain. And the reason why I probably love the last scene so much is because they danced in the rain. Rain, it means purity. It means cleansing. And I would say they just got baptized, y'all. You probably don't want to compare with that. They pretty much got baptized to a new level, okay? Because they went from being underdogs to a point where, like, when they were trying to compete, they're like, Tucker, like, nah, you ain't competing. Because he knew that they were dope. He knew that they were greater. And I love the fact also, another thing is Missy, she was the only, like I said, when you elevate yourself when you go to another level, you find out who's really for you. Missy, I love the fact she came back, because she's like, we're supposed to be family. I don't know what y'all doing. I don't know why y'all hating. I don't know why we respond the way we did. That was not right. We supposed to be fam. So for them to treat you like that, I don't like that. So I love the fact that she was like, you know what, Andy, I got you. Like, forget about them. I got you. And I love the fact that she came back, and that's a true day one friend. And once you leave an atmosphere, only a few is gonna keep up with you. Or maybe less than a few. A small handful is going to keep up with you, because the crowd that you thought were for you may not have been for you. And the real ones is going to stand out once you start to elevate. And when she elevated, Missy stood out. But I just love the fact when they were at the dance battle, like, Tuck knew, Felicia knew. That's why they didn't want them to compete, because he knew that they were going to maximize and go to another level and exceed beyond them. And so Andy was like, okay, y'all can take the title, that's great, but we're gonna be outside doing our thing where the foundation started, something that you guys forgot about. And they went from underdogs to you can't miss them, and they killed that choreography, man. And man, like, it's a brand new day, y'all. It's a brand new day, it's a brand new season, and from here on out, they just pretty much elevated themselves to even another dimension in themselves. But they did it as a crew. They did it together, and they didn't give up on one another, and they were there for one another. That's one thing that I love about this movie, and that's the lesson that I learned. So that's all that I have for this dance movie review. Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you to every single dancer in this movie. Yo, I will list all of you in my Dancers Hall of Fame. Like, you, man, bruh. And even the 410 too, y'all did an amazing job too. So I ain't gonna slack on y'all too. Y'all did an amazing job as well. I love the storyline. This storyline was absolutely amazing. Like, Yes. So all of you will be my Dancers Hall of Fame. Amazing job to the choreographers, who I did mention one of them, which was Dave Scott. Jamal Sims, amazing job, and hi-hat. Also, the sister choreographers that helped out with this movie was Rhapsody James. We have Kay Mel and Troy Kirby, and also Christy Prater. So all the choreographers all together, your creative ideas that you put forward towards this movie was absolutely outstanding. This really amped up this step up franchise to another level. It went from the first one to the second one, and you guys all did an amazing job. Y'all dominated and straight up killed this choreography in this movie. Thank you all so much for watching this dance movie review. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and also subscribe, and don't forget that bell as well. I do these movies not only just to talk about the movie in general, but also to honor the dancers and the choreographers as well, and all their hard work, and also to embark on the lessons, because in my opinion, I think every movie has some type of lesson in it, and I just love to identify that and bring that to the know. Thank you so much, all y'all. I love you all so much, and I can't wait to see you on the next dance movie review. I upload a new video every Tuesday and Thursday. And don't forget, y'all, to make some good choices, okay? Bye!